super interesting. We'll see what transpires here in draft, though, because it has been a little interesting for C9 in their loss yesterday. They maybe gave up a little too much, but Galio, the first ban, perhaps learning from some of the recent drafts. As Skarner banned by Clutch will do them a small favor.
Yep, pretty common ban so far. These two teams, I want to go over Reaper in his drafts a little bit, because recently, wondering about some of the power picks that have been given over. Right now, you mentioned, the Galio and the Azir now coming through as well. It seems like he's towing the line a little bit more, rather than being that guy where you always associate him coming up with the more creative answers to actually play into the super popular champions, and step a little bit more outside the meta.
Yeah, Cloud9 do like to test themselves in some ways. Again, just making sure that they have everything going. Yeah, there's Na and Azir banned by Cloud9, so kind of sticking to those meta picks. Clutch Gaming also taking one out, so making sure that that champion doesn't go over to Jensen. And we'll see what the final ban is here for Clutch. 10 seconds to ban something out. And Gangplank going to be the standard here, so making sure Licorice doesn't get his hands on that one. Solo, though, will lose the pick as well as Sejuani, first pick for Cloud9.
The pick off. Definitely a good front line here to start out with. Sejuani, everybody in love with the Aftershock. Charge right in and be able to play that no problem. If we're looking at the Clutch Gaming side, you start to turn your eyes a little bit towards the mid lane here with the extra little bit of focus that has gone down, but locking in that Ornn early, it is a possible flex pick for Hakuho or Solo in the top side.
All right, let's see what happens here. Do like the shout out to Hakuho's support on it was pretty good, and I think still kind of underrated in that role as support. Varus, though, has been the gold standard, it feels like, for a lot of ADs, given that Kog'Maw has dropped himself out of the metagame thanks to the change to his W. Cloud9, though, just messing around with the last few picks. We'll see what they do want to take here in this next phase. Braum being hovered, been another popular support. I think if you want to play aggressive, that's kind of where you want to go to. And Cloud9 does seem like they're taking their time with these next few draft picks. Ooh, that's one that I want to see. I don't know if, I think everyone else would like to see it as well. Did get buffed recently, but I don't think on this patch, if memory serves. So gonna have to wait a week for that one, but we'll see. You never know what teams have been practicing. Instead, though, they'll let us down somewhat, and that is he's back there. He's having fun. Jensen not going to be playing Fiddlesticks. It will be Tristana instead.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's actually looking forward to 8.4 because there's so many big changes. Maybe even Jensen himself, as we see the mouse over there. But currently, we'll just sit in the standard meta here. Tristana picked up. Tristana Braum does have a lot of kill pressure in lane. Braum Q into the passive stun. Tristana can rocket jump on them, so you always have to keep that in mind, as well as the very powerful level 1 invades that are possible with Sejuani, with Braum. And there it is.
He must have heard them.
Speak of the devil.
Morgana actually here for Hakuho. They played this lane already, actually, versus CLG. Had a real good time applying pressure in all innings, so nice to see a bit of a change up here, especially against the Braum. Morgana does have a good amount of value she can bring. Sejuani also adding a lot of CC, so it's Clutch with a nice first phase. Cloud9, I think, are also happy with their picks, but top lane going to start to get targeted. Licorice has shown a big willingness to play some of the less standard champions, Alawi we have seen, and is going to get taken off the board here by Clutch. Kazik's going to join away from LirA.
Yeah, definitely want to ban out a lot of the things that are going to beat up on Ornn, so it makes me, with the Alawi ban, think that they definitely want to have Solo on the top side playing that, especially since Morgana is typically going to be Hakuho's hands. Febiven could have been playing at mid, but that's very unlikely.
Kind of interesting to think about this with the Rise ban away and Cloud9 with one more to go. We did already see the Fiora into the Ornn. I don't know if Cloud9 have been playing it, but I do know that Fiora is Licorice's favorite champion. So we'll see if he does want to play it, if they have been practicing. Cloud9, though, just going to be thinking about his next few ban. Do they go again into LirA? They do. Going to take Zac away from him, and it's 2 more jungle options taken off the board.
Yeah, pinching down on LirA definitely has been successful for a lot of people because he's won a lot on the Skarner, but we're going to get a throwback here. Very exciting to see if LirA can make Lee Sin work. Still on 8.3, so we still get to see possible tracker knife.
Yep.
I know a lot of Lee Sin players are very sad that the extra wards were removed for those possible ward hops, but LirA definitely going to have those available to him. Let's see if he can get some early game off the ground then, because you know, bottom lane definitely is a possibility. Ornn is very good at setting up ganks as well, and that's something that Licorice is going to have to keep in mind when he picks up the kled. Yep. Definitely one of the other good champions into Ornn, and he has definitely put in a lot of time on this champion. So we'll see how LirA is able to get around this map.
Less dueling, but much more teamfight presence there. As top lane kled locked in, we'll see what Cloud they want to go for. It is Taliyah there for Jensen, blind into whatever clutch want to run, unless Febiven is in fact on the mid Morgana train.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
That's true. I'm trying to just think about how this early game is going to go here, because there's a lot of possibilities in the bottom lane too. If indeed Hakuho never misses bindings, then that as well could be a very good setup, especially versus melee lane there. So last lock-in is going to be Corki, so for some more DPS later there for Clutch Gaming. Corki scales very well into the late game. You know, Trinity Force as well as crits coming through and then being converted to magic damage.
Febiven has generally shown a pretty massive presence towards the late game style champions as well. His Azir was banned away, and I think rightfully so, but Corki has been another fallback for him this season. So certainly curious to see how Clutch can do, and I think really the big one is, yes, Apollo Hakuho a bit more of an aggressive lane, but still serviceable in those team fights. Good late game team fight damage from Corki, good late game team fight presence from Ornn. With LirA pushed down, Lee Sin is that wild card, has a much different kind of tempo than a lot of the meta junglers.
Exactly. When Lee Sin is picked in 8.3 on this meta, then the game is a lot about what is this Lee Sin going to do? What is the value that he's going to be able to make from this champion? Because so much of Lee Sin's kit is about allowing you to make decisions and capitalize on those decisions. You know, he's got extra mobility and possibility of early playmaking and early power, but if you don't, and you just kind of farm even with Sejuani, then in the late game, they've got a tanky Sejuani, and you've got a kick bot, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, LirA is incredibly accurate with the late game kicks, so can't count him out there. But you're right, as far as total presence and utility goes, not great around the 40-minute mark. So we'll see what happens here. LirA with a throwback, but it might be the best time for it, as the battle for second between Clutch and Cloud9 is about to begin.
And of course, he is going Electrocute on that Lee Sin for the burst damage. Really wants to take advantage of the early power that's possible. You can go for super big early trades. Trying to capitalize on any sort of extra vision they get. So we'll see if there is some sort of invade, because while we mentioned, oh, Braum, Tristana, Sejuani, they're all great level 1. You know, Morgana binding is a possibility that you could level up early if you really needed to in the invades. But typically, Tormented Soil will be taken.
Certainly one of the better level 1 spells, probably just under Blitzcrank Hook, which we already saw today, thanks to Aframu and the 100 Thieves. But here in our final match, actually, of the week.
All right, Hakuho skilled up binding.
He's ready for it.
See if he sees anyone.
All right, if he misses one, I think that means the sneaky gets it wrong, right? That's how this works?
Yeah, you miss one, your reputation is ruined.
All right.
Especially level 1.
Observer's going to have to be very careful then when exactly they show up Morgana on screen. As Jensen and Febiven doing a bit of a stand.
I'm pulling out some paper here. I'm going to keep track of every binding that I see thrown, and I will track his accuracy this game. Oh, no! 0 for 1. Okay.
All right, well, at least the rip-off start here.
You might have to remind me in these team fights, Pastry. Give me a recount after the team
all
fight.
right. I'll make sure to hit them very, very hard in the commentary. Is Sven going to have an easy take here. A bit of help from Sneaky and Smoothie, but Sejuani does blitz through the jungle. Lee Sin, though, also not bad. They were going to go red to Raptors here.
Yeah, a lot of junglers will go Raptors at least second camp, because you want to get your Raptor camp respawning quickly as well, since it has the most gold and experience of these small camps for you to find. And it is a lot about those timings. Most junglers in the competitive level are going to organize their routes around either their Raptors or stealing enemy Raptors. And both of them do actually have a little bit of vision and should be able to know the respawn timers. LirA's going for a possible topside camp here. Did pull off and go to do the Krugs for level 3, but he would still have another option to gank on the top side. And part of the reason why he didn't go for the gank there and went for the Krugs instead is because there was a double built wave. You don't want to gank this early in the game for your laner if you're going to have to fight into 2 stacks of ranged minions. because even in the 2 versus 1, it does get dangerous.
All right, my due diligence has been done. 1 for 4 currently for Hakuho. We get those last use. Licorice though leaning aggressively up into solo, trying to use that early aggression on the kled, but Sven and LirA are here in the area. Sven trying to check, not going to see LirA just yet. Almost lining up a dive, but now LirA's been spotted. Licorice going to have to run towards his jungler, empowered by the permafrost, maybe just going to turn it back around. Bear Trap doesn't quite drag one back. Licorice still mounted.
Yeah, you have to be very careful in those situations. And oftentimes, you'll want to focus the jungler regardless of side because the jungler's a little bit squishier early on, and they have those very valuable buffs. Oh no, another one.
1 for 5.
1 for 5. Bear witness.
Well, again, at least the pull's getting the harassment down. Sneaky Smoothie getting aggressive. Smoothie misses his own skill shot. Oh, there's one. 2 for 6. As Smoothie takes some damage in the trade. Solo trying to dismount Licorice, does so successfully. Bear Trap, I think, actually stayed up for a little while longer. Almost a rebound from Licorice. Does grab it. Ignite from Solo, not enough. That was so close.
You gotta be a little crazy to play kled because he's flirting with the edge of disaster there. Solo on Ornn bringing the Ignite since he has a spellbook. Almost gets the kill before the remount comes in, but that's when the kled type's not even close.
Yeah, and Febiven also taking damage from Jensen. Wonderfully lined up W to knock him back into the rocks. Febiven struggling a bit here in the matchup, but farming nicely despite the harassment. Licorice and Solo again at it once more, but Licorice is very stubborn right now. Does not want to leave if he doesn't have to. I think finally will have to leave though.
Yeah, he has teleport so he can get right back here. In time for this cannon minion wave. Oftentimes, back here for the cannon minion wave, you won't lose out too much since it takes so long for it to die, but he's not even going to let it get to the turret. And since Solo did use the Ignite in lane, he can't switch that one out for an easy teleport back, but Ornn gets to build his own items anyways, and it's not too hurt right now, so it should be okay.
Aggressive boy there from Licorice, keeping back onto the minion, didn't want to miss anything. He does have 2 longswords. Showing that refillable potion.
Yeah, he's trying to squeeze out as much pressure and control as he can on the top side as possible. That's why he was staying around so long before having to actually pull the trigger and go for the recall there. He's got this wave in a perfect position. Really good job by Licorice getting this big CS lead. Now we're seeing a jungle invade though.
Nice
with
here.
Svenskeren.
Jensen and Sven teaming up. Are going to take down a decent amount of these, but LirA fighting for the big one. That's the big prize. Who's going to grab it? Not LirA by the looks of things. Sven zones him off and takes down the Raptor. Bear Trap pulling Solo back in. Licorice trying to take those trades.
Yeah, and he's trying to still keep the wave right here. That's why Solo also not going for it back. Doesn't want to get out of EXP range, but because of the good play from Licorice, they set him up.
Yep, gets it back in again. Oh, the flash is good, but no! Pull back from Bear Trap on a rope. Kill's going to go over. Licorice grabs first blood.
That's why they teach wave management so early on in top lane class. Licorice is able to have so much control for so long. They keep Solo in a very bad spot. And not only does he get a big CS lead, but they also are able to call a jungler. Svenskeren comes over. They capitalize on the kill. And this is going to be a scary kled. What can LirA do here, though? Because the least
surprise!
is supposed to be the one.
Smoothie finds LirA. Binding does hit. Hakuho goes through the Unbreakable. Not going to do too much damage. Apollo with the poke trying to find it, but not enough there despite the presence of LirA in the bot lane.
All right, LirA farms up some crubs, but that is about it. Svenskeren on the Sejuani. Bigger impact, bigger farm, and better scaling champ as well. So again, Solo's so frustrated here because Licorice kept his wave there for like 3 waves. And he's trying to stick around for experience range, but afterwards, Bear Trap on a rope, works on Ornn as well, and Licorice is able to pull him right back in. Nice kill for the top side. This is going to get very scary on the top side. You know, Ornn still is going to have that teamfight effectiveness you talked about, but since they're playing it into a Braum as well, he also has to worry about the Unbreakable taking away his biggest impact.
Yeah, and this has been, in some ways, Solo's identity, really not doing too well in lane, but scaling very well into team fights where he has shown a lot of prowess. But this is pressure that a lot of top laners have not withstood. Licorice has been really good at snowballing lanes, especially with the help of his team. And with the team at done, he's going to retake some of these trades. Bear Trap hits again. Solo pulled back. Licorice looking to make it a solo kill on the Solo himself. LirA already here. Might turn it back around, but Svenskeren going to ruin the party. Licorice rebounds! Gets a double kill in top lane!
And that boy is good. All right, rookie of the split here for Licorice. We're giving him out already.
That's it, 30 over.
He did get the counter pick, yeah, you know, kled into Ornn, but the way that he played the waves as well as Svenskeren's timely arrival there allows him to remount just on the edge once again. And it's just so tilting to play against this champion because you have him so low. If there was just a little bit, one more second, if that stun from Sejuani hadn't come in, they probably could have finished him off before the remount, and it'd be a completely different story for Clutch Gaming. But as it stands, Cloud9 with a very sizable lead. This is now a 3-kill led, kled, excuse me, who also is going to be able to continue to pressure the turret.
And again, the total topside power of C9 cannot be understated at this point of the game, but let's watch this magic again, Kobe.
All right, so at this point, he's already ahead, and he's just trying to abuse the lead that he has. So even into the big wave, he's taking the trade, spamming out your bear trap on a rope. You keep him in range, keep pulling him back in. And even though LirA is headed up here, Svenskeren also was called. As soon as Licorice starts going for that super long trade, junglers need to go, you know, to that action because top lane is so volatile. Yeah, exactly. That's the frustration we're talking about. Playing against kled, incredibly tilting.
Somebody gift that. That's the face when you play against kled.
That's actually perfect.
All right, Smoothie cleanses out. Hello, Spellbook. Surprising there, but actually works nicely as Hakuho and Apollo do look for the pressure.
I just want to keep replaying that over and over. That is pretty unlucky as far as top laner life goes. That's kind of what he has to deal with, you know? And now it's just going to get worse from that point on. At this point, it's risky for LirA to ever go up there, and you kind of have to abandon the top lane.
Yeah, actually, Licorice already has the turret, so he's going to get pulled back in again. Here's the call of the Forge God. Licorice going to try and dance around it. Oh my god, that ult was so sick from Licorice. Going to pull Solo back in. Solo kill forthcoming. He does have his flash, but Licorice diving under every single turret.
We're at the crowd speak for that one. Pretty well played by Licorice. Jensen on the invade, though, is getting chased out, and LirA wants to kill him.
We've been chasing in. Svenskeren, where are you? Not there, but not needed. Bat signal went up, but Sven not in the area. Still, Jensen able to get out of that one with his summoners intact.
Yeah, I think just at the very end of it, Svenskeren shows on this deep ward in the red quadrant, but before that, they didn't know where he was. Bottom lane!
Aggression, Black Shield onto Hakuho, but the damage is just too much. Glacial Fissure finds enough. Sneaky hops his way back out to safety, but Hakuho is going to go down here. Sneaky able to get a kill. 2v2 in the bot lane.
And more to the party. Bottom lane continues.
Jensen ready with a wall, cuts off Apollo's escape. He does have his flash, but it's not going to matter. Stunned forever. Jensen naps the kill. C9 starting to explode across the map.
Turret also going to explode very effectively here as Sneaky on Tristana going to be able to detonate that one. And Cloud9 with a huge advantage in this game, completely sweeping the map. It's not just top lane that's a problem for Clutch Gaming anymore. It is the entire early game.
And first turret gold goes over, split between 4 on Cloud9. I think 3 actually with Sneaky and Jensen with his proximity, but I'll stop talking. Let's watch this again.
Yeah, Solo having a bad time here as this is a very fed kled. Uses the ultimate right there, unstoppable. Also is able to interrupt him so he doesn't get the second activation off. Sidesteps right there to continue. Doesn't even need to though, has plenty of health as well as possible remount. And there you go. Where's the eye roll one more time? Because this is now a 2-level lead for Licorice. 4 kills to his name and upwards of 30 CS.
Yeah, actually 40 pretty much. As Licorice will return to the lane to farm it out. Actually going to start off the Rift Herald here. Knowing again that they have full control of the top side of the map. Ben and Licorice should be able to team up and take this down. 2 turrets down already, with Licorice actually nabbing Solo first turret gold in top after that play. Spot just got taken in the 4-man, and mid is going to be an obvious vulnerable spot. I think Jensen's already done some work, and Sven's going to zip over.
All right, now it gets really difficult for Clutch Gaming because the wards have started to move into their jungle. They don't have a lot of safety to work off of. And even though we haven't seen too much of Jensen, this is Taliyah, and they're about to take down the mid turret, so he'll have a lot of room to work with.
Yep, Rift Herald gets spawned. Nice timing here from C9. Going to threaten onto Febiven. And just Shelly going to be able to take this one down. Sven tanks on what he can. Not enough damage, actually, but going to stick around for the last few shots and collect some of that gold. Febiven knows he can't do anything, has a chuckle, and tries to take down the Herald as Sven looking to re-invade spots. LirA warding up as he wards up that wolf camp. Licorice is solo invading and taking red buff though. The problems are increasing as Hakuho does land that binding. Pops the ulti there as well. Kickback from LirA. Should be able to catch out Sven. Apollo lands it. Jensen now caught a little too far forward, but Hakuho, he's going to be the next target. Jensen able to get that as Licorice rams on in with the kled. Good ult though from Solo. Defends that next tower dive.
Yeah, decent little pick there for Clutch Gaming. If they trade 1-for-1, that's not a problem for them. They'd like to get some sort of, you know, not only gold trade, but also it relieves a bit of the pressure having taken Svenskeren off of the map for a little bit. So LirA tries to clear out some of the vision, and they get to farm up their lanes a little bit. Breathing room is all you can really hope for at these stages, so they're definitely happy to have that little exchange.
Fortunately, gold is still counting up. 6,000 gold ahead for C9, so we'll watch this again.
Yeah, LirA gets found here at the Raptor, but Hakuho lands one of his classic Morgana bindings here. He's going to pay for it with his life as the answer kill comes in afterwards. And Sneaky going to help Jensen finish that one off. But they did get the trade, and now this is going to be a Mountain Dragon for Cloud9 as well.
Able to take it down. First Drake of the game over to C9. And given the pace of this game so far with the outer ring already felled at just under 14 minutes, should be able to make these tier 2 takes a lot simpler as Licorice is just recklessly pushing here in the top lane, which I can't really blame him for. Already had the Black Cleaver.
Now you're like, it was reckless early on, maybe if you're getting like 20 HP away from your remount. But now that he's so fed, you're like, okay, you can...
he's so fed, now it's just good play, Kobe.
Yeah, you can go pretty deep. What's your personal most tilting champion to play against? Because there are a lot of mechanics that people do complain about. You know, the kled remount is definitely one of them, and we can see the eye roll. What would be Pastry's eye roll champion?
It's not a mechanic thing necessarily, but I cannot stand playing against Vayne.
Vayne?
I can't play her. I've never been able to. And
the true invisibility. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the reworks to invisibility, where you can't reveal with pink wards or anything anymore. Jensen though, he's gonna have to walk into a binding.
Oh, that's a hit. Damage back in though. Still the ult comboing through. Easy pickup for Apollo. As 4 collapse there from CG. Oh, don't worry, Kobe. I'm still counting. We're at 5 of 10 right now.
Oh, nice.
On camera binding. I'll never let you down. Licorice flashing out. Blasco not there. I think Apollo actually hit it. Maybe Licorice tried to flash past it, but he's going to ult LirA, though. Still tags him. Black Shield on as well to make it a bit easier. Looks for the remount. Damage is massive, though, from the kled. Febiven still here. Licorice at the remount. Not close enough. Apollo grabs a shutdown.
Clutch Gaming still fighting here. They're finding some scrappy kills. They are giving up bottom area of the map, but Cloud9 pushing in and taking down the turret while they get the counter kills. 2 picks is pretty decent for Clutch, though. They're happy to get some amount of gold for themselves to work with. Cloud9, though, still trudging forward to take down another objective and add some more territory to work with. You can see all the wards now that they do have inside both sides of the jungle.
Well, looking good so far. Clutch do get some stuff back, but still far behind. As again, they're just trying to prevent Cloud9 from rolling this snowball down any further. Jensen able to clear these waves out. Everyone approaching some pretty important item breakpoint. Sneaky almost at 2, as we'll check this again.
Doink gets it right in the head with a binding, and from there, Apollo follows up with the Varus ultimate. Pretty easy with DPS from 4 people around. Then Licorice actually doesn't go for the blast cone, and that's why LirA is able to get him with the kickback. Apollo finishes the blast cone off during the flash here, and then with the collapse inside enemy territory, this is where the chase ensues. Nobody's around to help because there are 3 members of Cloud9 you can see on the mini-map who are taking that objective. So during the chase, while Clutch Gaming happy to get some sort of gold for themselves, again, another turret did fall.
Well, game's going to settle down just a little, but likely not for too much longer. Licorice working on the bot side as he's almost at the 2 item point. T4 stun for Febiven, but Cloud9 looking to get aggressive here onto the top tier 2. Nice chunk of damage there by Sneaky, and Jensen's going to cut one off. It's Solo left in the wall. I did not know that worked that way. Solo busts his way out, but turret's still going down.
Yeah, one of the fun things about Ornn, breaking the champion-made terrain. Licorice also pushing that wave up all the way to the turret. So Cloud9, again, even though they got picked off two people inside the enemy jungle there, they're right back to their checklist. Focusing on the turrets, you could see the assist pings went down immediately from them after they died. They take down top, they push up the bottom as well, so mid-secondary is the only one left, and now they're looking for maybe a Sejuani ult to pick anyone getting close to the red buff.
Yep, all that vision though swept out by C9 gives him control around the red buff. Sneaky going to be the one to receive such a generous donation. Again, Clutch is trying to wave clear it out. Licorice still pressuring 1v1, both tops with TP. As that long lane in top is a lot of darkness for Clutch to try and work against. Even Licorice able to keep that control ward up and clean it out. And again, this wards keep dropping in the jungle of Clutch.
Yep, that is dangerous territory for them to sneak into. A lot of crowd control on Cloud9, and now they actually want to use it on Febiven.
Nice play, no cleanse here. Stun going to follow up. No, the flash is good. Glacial Vision though, able to follow. Needs a little bit more. Jensen just bursts him down solo. Looking for an ulti angle. Does find it on the Smoothie, who cleanses again. Forced to flash out of the way. Chain of Corruption is not quite there. I think that's what Smoothie shook off from Apollo. And Cloud9 dive and get the kill.
Yeah, and they already had dropped tower aggro, so they're able to get right back out with no traded life. 5v4 now. Fed team knocking at your doors. It's going to be rough for Clutch Gaming.
Again with the Mountain Drake, able to take down this turret pretty simply. Next one is up in a minute 5 if C9 do want to snowball that particular objective. Looks like they'll back up and reset for it now. Everyone again just backing off, but going to be A-OK. Cloud9 able to safely recall. And sneaking out with Infinity Edge completed. Most major items are done on the side of C9, even though Clutch are doing okay. And watch this dive again. Again, Febiven with no cleanse. Can't really do anything.
Yeah, they're able to hit him with the Sejuani ultimate. Nice one from Svenskeren there. He tanks the turret you can see on the bottom, which is the important part, until the kill finishes, then goes out of turret range. So no one else got it during the re-engage from Clutch, and they're all able to escape with their lives. Another Mountain Drake up in 20-something seconds. Should be easy for Cloud9 to take, and with 2, then you even turn your eyes towards Baron, because even though it hasn't spawned yet, 30 seconds away, and double mountains, with this far of a lead, you gotta expect Cloud9 are looking to end this one early.
Yeah, and the gold differentials are just getting a little out of hand. Cloud9 are approaching 9,000 gold ahead with pretty much complete control of the map. Again, Mountain should be theirs for the taking. Licorice already there after pressuring the bot side with that Titanic Hydra. And maybe even some big double play as Sneaky and Smoothie at least going toward the Baron as it spawns.
Yeah, I mean, Clutch Gaming, at least they've been able to get a lot of vision out on the map, so they can make decent choices here. It's going to be rough for them to actually pull off the fight since they are so far behind in gold, but at least it will be an informed fight, and they won't have to be rushing into darkness. Yes, Cloud9 is probably going to move in and close, clear out most of that vision, but at least they've laid the groundwork.
Yeah, certainly have to do your due diligence and put your defensive vision down to get your farm safely to scale up to the late game where Clutch have looked very good. C9 though have been pretty good at snowballing games. Gonna spot a few there. Svenskeren doesn't pull the trigger on the ult just yet. LirA though, the next target, immune though with the black shield, able to hop to safety. Cloud9 again just doing the same thing they've already done. They got top tier 2 off this play. Now Baron is the real threat with those 2 mountains finished.
And Licorice on the bottom side there, you can still see him pushing up the minions. Oh, Ornn ultimate mid.
Looking for something here, finds Jensen actually. Finding connects and Febiven collects one. Jensen has been in some silly spots this game.
Yeah, and Clutch are punishing him well. They jump on any opportunity that has exposed itself. Very necessary for them to do at this stage in the game. And again, they buy themselves a little bit more room.
Well, Licorice still waiting around, hoping to find a straggler in the jungle. It is LirA that he spots, but not able to move forward. C9 again just trying to keep the lanes pressured. But with Jensen dead for 15 more seconds, they probably can't start the objective, but they will try and continue their pressure. Again, Sneaky and Smoothie just going to clear out these waves. Waiting for those respawns as Clutch. Try and build up towards really their next few items. They've got 1, but really need 2 given how far ahead Cloud9 are.
Yeah. All right, let's take another look at how Jensen... Oh, okay, so it's a flash for flash, but a really nice Ornn ultimate from Solo. Just barely tagged him on the first pass through to get that slow and allow him to hit the second one to finish up the kill. Otherwise, it would have been a flash for flash there with Apollo and Jensen trading. So nice pickup. Still able to add, even though it was a frustrating early game.
Yeah, back out on the map, though, and Cloud9 once more looking at that big prize of the Baron. Do have some wards to clear out. Smoothie going to pop that first sweeper. Licorice and Solo fighting. As a reminder, this is not a particularly fair fight. Febiven going to make it unfair, though. Licorice has his ulti and his flash. Should be able to get away from this pretty easily. Cloud9 drawing the pressure they want towards that bot side of the map.
Yeah. And Febiven, as you said, still trying to farm to his second item, that Infinity Edge. You build your Infinity Edge on top of the Stream Force, and then you hope you get some lucky crits in a row for themselves, and that is a possibility for them trying to get back in, through one of these team fights. Otherwise, it's going to have to be some good bindings from Hakuho / ultimates from Apollo to pick people off. And, the Ornn ultimate follow-up that we just saw is how Clutch are going to try and get some territory back for themselves. Currently, they know they really would love to have this mid-turret down, but it's a very dangerous point for them to extend themselves past halfway through the mid of the map.
Yeah, Clutch have shown again some strong positioning in the late game and ability to win those team fights, but they've also gotten there pretty well. Their defensive play has been pretty admirable this game. They're putting down that vision, not overextending themselves, even in spots where you kind of look at that low turret in mid and think, oh, this is gold we can get. This is a really important point of the map. But Cloud9 know that eventually the map kind of had to break in. With this advantage, they will start Baron for the first time, spotted by a blue trinket, but that's going to get turned off by the control ward.
Yep, Smoothie's still over on this side, too. He can put up the Unbreakable to help protect.
Steals that Blasco, and LirA maybe looking for the steal, doesn't grab it. Instead, it's Sven that gets it. LirA also going down.
Ooh, was close. LirA had a decent shot at trying to steal that away with a smite, but Licorice is on the
Here
chase.
comes kled. Solo is there, but Apollo getting a pull. Drag everybody flashing for Jensen with a flick back. Solo dies as well. 3 for 0 plus the Baron. Cloud9 straight to the mid.
Yeah, straight to the inhib and straight to the Nexus, probably. This is a Baroned up team with 3 kills already.
Certainly gonna try. Inhib will fall. 30 seconds till Solo. 20-ish to Apollo. C9 not done, like you said. Are gonna go for the throat here. Smoothie goes forward. Febiven burns the package. Demolish stacking up. Turret 1's dead. 10 seconds to Apollo. 15 for Solo. Turret dead though again. C9 just able to play so far forward. They're too far ahead. Did not take that loss lightly yesterday. Hakuho dives in, goes down as a result. Jensen able to pick up that kill. The Nexus exposed. Everybody just diving towards Licorice. Gonna move in and last hit the Nexus. Cloud9 pick up their win.
What a game that was. The kled pick into Ornn. Top lane getting very active very early on with some timely arrivals of Svenskeren specifically up on the top side. Really close remounts as well for Licorice, and they snowballed really, really heavily.
Yeah, again, we talked about the early game presence of Lee Sin kind of needing to be a factor in this game. Unfortunately for LirA, I don't think we can really blame him for not getting too much done because of how badly things went in the top lane so early on.
Yeah, you can always blame the jungler. If I've learned one thing, PastryTime, in 10 years of playing League of Legends.
Well, I will not do that today as the teams shake hands. Cloud9 win the battle for second place, a decisive sub-25-minute win. It's a steamroll Clutch to collect second. While we're at it though, I did do my best, Kobe, to count those bindings. I have 9 for 16 as on-camera bindings for Hakuho.
That's not 100%.
It's definitely not. I mean, we saw the first one miss, so that was completely out the window once we started our tally. I'm sure someone's going to tell me that, hey, I was counting. You were hilariously wrong on how many that was, but yeah, I did try.
I mean, over 50 is still quite good. But yeah, man, what an ending here, because people were wondering about Cloud9, how they're going to recover after yesterday, and they came back very strong.
Certainly so. Like I said, did not take that loss lightly. And I think apart from, again, Licorice looking good, that top side really just did all that work. Yes, Jensen maybe had some moments where he shouldn't have been in those places, but hey, he still applied the pressure and gave Sven those openings. But for more on that C9 win, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, if you're looking to rebound off of 2 losses, that's the way you want to do it there for Cloud9. Just going off in the top lane and Licorice off to the races, essentially, this time around. Again, in the wake of the beating he took on the Lucian pick, suffering a loss yesterday. This is a great bounce back.
Yeah, and breaking the winning streak of Clutch Gaming as well. Going back to a carry pick, back to the kled, which no one else has played. He's played it once before this split. And then just destroying the tank pick up top lane with the help of his team, obviously, but that's what Cloud9's been best at this year.
Yeah, it was very surprising considering they felt like they did protect the Ornn pick kind of well with the Alawi and a couple other bands. And I was wondering what he was going to play, and then I saw the kled lock in. I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And then there was the Ignite that was super close to killing Licorice for a little bit, but then after that, it was all Licorice.
I mean, that was kind of the make or break point, right? You can see where if the kill comes through for the Ornn, he gets to that just unkillable state where he's out-tanking or outpacing the damage built by Licorice. Not the case, though.
And the big thing was, where that happened, it actually took his TP and the wave was frozen. So Licorice comes back at full HP, Solo can't do the same, and then he falls massively behind, and then the jungler starts coming up there as well.
Yeah, and that's like, at this point, the second or third super close moment where I think that kind of tilts Solo, both mentally and also just the fact
the
that
eye roll.
His champion just now has no items, and Licorice has all of the items. So it's going to keep happening at that point afterwards, and Licorice did a great job playing around that advantage.
All right, before we hit the 15-minute mark, Licorice had individually a 3K gold lead over Solo. You want to talk about destroying your season average statistics for use?
I mean, he's happy with
but
it.
you've done it. You've done it. Both him and Solo.
He destroyed it in a good way. Solo, yeah.
Right, Solo's isn't looking so pretty anymore. Licorice has got a nice boost to those CSD averages.
Yeah, it was funny.
Goodness.
We got an overreaction tweet yesterday that was like, Solo's the new rookie of the split after his great game last week, and then, or yesterday. And I was like, yeah, that was an overreaction here. He got destroyed.
Very much so. But again, I mean, it's a tip of the hat to Licorice for the fact that the team keeps putting this kind of pressure on him in those carry matchups in the top lane, and he continues to perform. You know, with that, we came into the day saying, when will it be time to call Clutch, you know, officially a good team? When will they have convinced you two that they're definitively a top team? And you guys pointed directly to this
Practice
matchup,
game.
saying you beat C9, and we will say you're here. You've made it. And then they got crushed.
They did get crushed. And it can happen in best of ones, right? Like, there's
Yes.
a chance that they could still just be and win all the rest of their games and have this be the aberration where their top laner fall behind. But with that being said, I feel a little vindicated about the things I've been saying with Clutch. They haven't necessarily beat great teams. They haven't won convincingly. They're only clutching it out in late-game team fights. And this game, they got steamrolled
They didn't get to late-game
by
team
Cloud9,
fights.
and they got completely stopped from doing it. So I think, yeah, Cloud9 proved that they are much better than Clutch here. I think.
Right, that said, we did have a couple strange, interesting picks for Clutch this time around. The Morgana coming through, of course, for Hakuho, which was talked about a bit. And then the Lee Sin for LirA. I mean, to some degree, this makes sense for me as LirA has really only shown us a bunch on Skarner, and we're still kind of searching for what are the other picks for him this season that'll let him create advantages for the rest of his team.
I mean, that's the whole point of why we were critical of this team is like, well, what happens when LirA doesn't get Skarner? He plays Lee Sin, does one or two things over the course of the game, but is largely ineffective. The Morgana pick with the Varus is a very lane-focused pick. They did not really capitalize on that during the first 15 minutes of the game. Later on, they found pickoffs with that combination, which is still good at, but they didn't beat that enemy lane quite like they should have. And so as the top side went horribly wrong, Corki's farming in the mid lane because that's what Corki does. They didn't have any serious pressure points for Lee Sin.
I mean, that's about the story of the game, right? You put a lot of resources top, you let that kled start rolling, C9 picks up the win. To hear more about that win, let's send it over to Avli and C9's Stoneweaver in the mid lane.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Jensen. Congratulations on that win. We actually got to see you on Taliyah today against the Corki. Tell me, what was the decision-making behind picking?
It was mainly just because yesterday I played the Corki, which is not really a pressure pick, so we thought maybe if we pick something that has more like pressure in the early stage of the game, we could like do a lot more in the early game. And yeah, we just thought we just changed it up a little bit, so we had a bit more of a pressure pick in the mid lane this time.
Now, I've been picking the brains of all the mid laners so far, and I want to pick yours on 8.4, the patch that was just implemented this week. We have a lot of mid lane and AP items changing. What are your general thoughts?
So far, it seems like champions that can go tier into Rod of Ages are a lot stronger now because you don't have to build Morello at the same time anymore. So it feels a lot nicer for those type of champions, although I'm not really sure yet what to think because I haven't played too much on the new patch since we've also been scrimming on the old one. But so far, it looks pretty good, and I like it so far.
I've been asking everyone, what crazy champion do you think is going to pop up because of this?
It's Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger for sure, yeah.
I really want to see you play him now, but today, NALCS Countdown, both Jat and Mark listed you as their #1 mid laner in their tier list. If you're #1, who's 2 and 3?
I'd say definitely Phoenix, #2. I think #3 is kind of up in the air, I think a lot of the mid laners are pretty even. You know, some have better strengths and different weaknesses. So I think the third one's hard to pick, but I think Phoenix is playing really well so far, at least individually. But yeah, I don't know who to put third, honestly.
What mid laner do you want to go up against? Maybe prove yourself.
I don't know. No one in NA, really. I just want to play against like some international mid laners.
Perfect. Well, I hope you get to play against them in the future. Thank you so much. And to wrap up the day, back to the analyst desk.
He doesn't have to prove himself.